Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I got a comment from a viewer asking me how big is the slatted house and stuff like that. So I told him I'd make a detailed video of everything to do with the slatted house. So the size of the bays, the size of gates, the size of creeps, and how we work things when we're moving cattle and all that. So that's all to come in today's video. I guess to start off, as you can see, this whole shed here is the actual cattle shed. That bit back there where the 135 is parked, and in there is basically a fairly new shed. It's only been up it must be about 10 years, maybe less. So back at the back end of this cattle shed is basically a fairly new shed. This cattle shed is old enough. It's about 30-40 years old. So I guess we'll start off with the front passageway into the slatted house. That gate there is a 12-foot gate, and what's interesting about this is that it's hung here, but the hitch for it and the loop is connected on the door itself. So you could technically put up a smaller gate here, and you just have to move this door forward or backwards, and you can hang up any size gate at the front if you want. Now these front doors, we only close them really on either a really wet day, a really stormy day, or if it's going to freeze overnight. So if it's going to be a really bad thunderstorm overnight, we'll close them. And the way we do that is basically put the gate in behind this door, so it gets tucked in behind the door, and we just use this chain and wrap it around the gate here, basically to secure so it doesn't swing in on top of the cows. So now we're inside. So from one bay, which is from the wall to the girder, girder to wall, wall to girder, girder to wall. So one bay is basically that. So one whole bay is 16 foot. So the full length of this cattle shed in total, from this front gate here to the back wall back there, the full length of it is 32 foot. And each bay has their own gates, as you can see. And you have a gate there and a gate there. So the bay on the left ends with a wall. So every drinker, we have a drinker here for that bay, and then the drinkers here for this bay, but we obviously have them separated. So we have a barrel of water there for them, because them two are still yet to calve, so that's why they're separated. She's already calved. She only has 2 working quarters, so she's isolated in there by herself, so none of the other calves sort of suck on her and take away the milk from her calf. So that's why she's in there on her own. So we had to separate them. And even though we have a fairly big shed, 32 foot or feet in total, we're still very limited on room. The bay on the right goes a bit further because there's a calf creep on the opposite side, and the bay on the right, their drinkers, is over that side, unlike this bay where it's nearer us. It's not on this girder. The drinkers for this side is on the far girder. So now we'll go to the calf creep. This gate here is 8 foot. So the actual calf creep from the wall to the barriers, that there is 8 foot. And this is the little calf creep. This is where we used to actually calve the cows and hold them, which is why we have a sort of a head crush there. That's basically the really old system, before even crushers were even sort of used. So this is how old the shed is. And some farmers in Ireland don't have a crush. They just use a chain or a rope and put it towards the length of the cow and wrap it around their backsides, and then put their heads in the head crush there. And that's how we used to do it. But obviously in our new section we have the crush, head scoops, the whole lot. So this gate as it is isn't used for what it was built purposely to be used for. It's not used as that anymore. It's just used as a gate to keep the calves in. And as you can see, this bay, the girder to the wall there, that's their drinkers. They have a drinker on two sides of the barriers. I don't know what the reason for that was, but that's it. One bay here has two drinkers, while the cow there is getting water there from. That's the drinker that's there. And I won't go in and excite the calves because I'm already exciting them quite a bit here, but as you can see there where the black cow's gone in, that's a little calf creep gate. So the calves in here can go in and out into their mothers and get milk and stuff, but they can come out here to lie or have their own silage or calf crunch, and the cows kind of get to them, but they can still see them and stick their heads out through the barriers, so they can still see their calves, so they shouldn't be worried or panicked as much as if they couldn't see them. This gate here is only a temporary gate to basically separate the cows that have calved and the cows that are not in calf. This is why we have very limited room. Even though the size of our shed, we're still low on room. The actual gate that should be here hangs from this girder, so the top bit goes in there. There's now a hole there, and the slot is down there, and it would connect to that steel girder there, but technically it's not. We have just a temporary gate. I don't know why the reason of that is, why it's not hanging from the girder, which is the dead centre of the shed, marks the 16 foot. Why this gate is here, I don't know, but I'll show you in a minute. This is where the gate would clip into from the girder. So from this girder, and as I just showed you a minute ago, it hangs over there at that far girder. But for some reason, I don't know the reason behind it, we have this temporary gate up that's currently fallen down because it's broke over there. But this gate is clipped. This gate is supposed to be clipped here, but it's sort of broke at the far end there. So that's them there. And if those four cows and heifers, there's only one heifer in here as far as I know. The only heifer in here is that black one. The white one, the goldy one, and that red one with the white face all had calves before, but this is the only heifer. This is actually, she'd be coming on 2 years now, that black one. Yeah, but they're not in calf. If they were in calf, we'd obviously have way more calves, and we would separate them as well between the ones that were born first, the bigger ones, to the ones that would have been born later on, the most recent ones, so they'd be the smaller ones, and we'd probably place them in this section here, which is why the section of the wall here is cut out, because last year we had more cows that were calving and we had more calves than we do this year. So we used the full length of the calf creep, but we obviously had that red gate to separate the big ones, the bigger calves, from the smaller calves. And that's the sort of calf creep system we have here. We would put a bar going across there so that none of the cows would somehow squeeze in. So it'd be a perfect height for the calves to get in and out of, but the cows won't be able to somehow squeeze out of it. Not that they can, because it's very narrow. And because this half is sectioned off, it's actually, this 16-foot bay is probably cut in half again. It's cutting the bulls off from the water drinkers there. So we have water here for them, and it's filled from a tap that we installed not too long ago, actually, about 2 or 3, possibly even 4 years ago. We installed that tap there to fill the water here. But this is the section more or less done. We have the calf creep here, the calf gate creep over there to let the calves in and out to their mothers, but keep the cows in on the slats, so the calves can come in here, eat their own silage, have their own calf crunch, and they can lie down in their own sort of calf bay without worrying about a cow maybe lying on top of one of them. And again, if it was a wet night, a stormy night, or even if it was going to freeze at a night, we would close that door and it would cover that gate. That gate can stay like that and latched like that, unlike the door over there. and that door will slide over that door with it latched, and it would keep any rain, wind, or even frost and cold air out from the cattle and the calves themselves. So if we wanted to move any cattle that are in the near bay here, near outside, a man would stand at the gate, swing the gate, stand up close to the barrier, while a man in there hunts whatever cow, bull, heifer, calf we want out the gate. While the man in there then closes the gate, the man that was standing close to the barrier would then hunt on the animal into a pen out there. On the far end of the two bays, we'd have a man inside and then another man here operating the gate. When the cow that we want to come out, is near, the man outside would swing the gate open, run back here, stand somewhere here so they don't get out here. That gate would be closed. The man in the slats would hunt that cow out. The man standing in the middle of the floor would not let the cow sort of go out towards the gate or push through the gate, and sort of guides the cow into the pen, if you know what I mean. So just to show you a demonstration, the gate is over that way. A man would be inside the crush or the slat there, while a man here would open the gate and then run back to here. While the cow is being hunted out here, the man here would guide the cow into the pen there. That gate would be closed. The man here guiding the cow then into whatever pen, while the man on the slats then would be closing the gate. Hopefully you understand that. Sometimes it's better to somewhat show as well as explain, which is why I planted the camera down and I stood here trying to show you what I meant, what I was trying to say. But I guess we can move on to the next section, which is in there, the new shed. But we obviously have this gate here to stop. If a calf did jump out, they wouldn't be able to get out there and onto the road, because that gate would be blocking them. And obviously here, if they got out, they could easily go out the back there and possibly get on the road. But we have this gate blocking them. But we do prevent calves from jumping out by putting these barriers putting poles along the barriers, and that way it makes it too high for them to jump over, but it doesn't give them enough room to squeeze out. So that sort of stops them from jumping out the barriers and onto the passageway. Now this gate here is an 8-foot gate. It's hung here on this steel grey pole, and it clips in there, but currently the wall is cracked and about to fall, so the gate doesn't clip into that latch as easily as it would. So when all the cows go out, we have to knock this whole wall down and build it up again, because you can obviously see there for yourself it's not in the best state. So that's why we have the gate latched like that instead of latching it in there, because it can't really go in there, because the wall and where the gate is hung, it's hung on that wall, is pushing up sort of backwards. It's tilting the bottom out and the top isn't, so it's kind of awkward to get it into that little slit there. But anyways, this is an 8-foot gate, and then we have a pen there, a little crush there, and a pen here. And basically these pens are for when the cows are calving, or if they come sick, or if they develop a bad hoof or something, and we put them in here, fix them up, put them back out. Or if they're calving the calf, we leave them there a week or two with the calf before we put them out on the slats. Okay, this gate here is just over 8 foot, and this is the little pen here. You have your drinker there. We had that mesh there just basically to stand up across the passageway there, so we could get cows out, because we didn't have I wasn't here, so the old man wanted to move a cow or something. I think it was her. And usually, as I mentioned, we'd open the gate, a man would stand there to prevent any cow from going back there. But I wasn't here, the old man was on his own, so he put up that mesh going across there to prevent them going back there. So then the only place they could go was out the pen and out there. So that's why that's there. But also, this gate here can swing around here and clip it in here, so you can curtail a cow and calf in here if they're like mad or anything, and you could be cleaning out this section here. We usually put the barrel of silage there so you can fill the silage as well, clean out as well, while that cow and calf then is just sort of curtailed in that little corner there. And you have your little head crush or secure thing there as well, which when you lift this up, that's usually clipped in there, and when you lift the handle up, it lifts this up, and then you can open that out and let the cow out. But I can't do it because this is leaning up against it. We also have a rope which is connected to the thing here. So when the cow is being pushed in, a man could be standing the whole way back there with the rope, and when they pull the rope, they pull the head thing back, the head scoop back. I would have demonstrated it for you, but this big yoke is currently in the way, unless I can move it. Right, that's moved. So as you can see, you can open that gate. It's in the way again, but you can push that gate back and it secures in there. You have your rope there, so a man could be standing back here and pull the rope and secure the cow's head. And then here, you lift this up, which alternatively lifts that up. When you lift that up, you can open the gate. So that's that pen done. Now the crush here. The small crush gate, which is this here, is 27 foot. These gates here, you have them each side. They're 80 inches, and the width of the actual crush itself is 28 inches. So from the inner gate there to that pole there, that width there is 28 inches. And yes, I have the stuff written down on the phone because I have a lot to remember, a lot of measurements, a lot of gates. So I have them all written down on the phone, which is why you can see me with a hand sometimes and then with a phone in the hand, which is, I'm just following the measurements which I took earlier before I made this video. So that's the crush. You have gates each side, so if there's a cow in there that needs to be put into this crush, you just open that gate a small bit and hunt the cow in. On this side it's the same, you just open the gate and the cow that's in this pen, you hunt her in. Along with the head secure thing there, we have this, which you push up to the cow's back end and you can secure it in these slots, and that stops the cow from pushing herself back and forward, because she can still push herself back and forward with the length of her neck when she's secured in that. So if you don't want it to be moving too much, you can stop her from using this pole here. And along with this full gate itself, you have smaller gates. So you have a small top gate and a small bottom gate. Now the top gate would be used if you were shaving their backs and putting sort of stuff on them, without having to open the actual gate itself. If you wanted to stay protected, you'd still have the full gate itself. You just have to open this top section and you'd still have the bottom bit there to stop them from kicking you. So all you have to do is open this top gate. As you can see there, the top gate is open, but the main gate is closed, the bottom gate is closed, and you can shave their backs or do anything with the top half of the cow. Then you have your bottom gate, so if the calf wasn't sucking, you could milk the cow by opening this bottom gate. The rest of the gate remains intact, and then you can sort of milk the cow, get any milk out of her, and then bottle feed her to the calf until the calf figures out how to suck. Or you could grab the calf, you could grab the calf and bring her up to the cow's udders and sort of persuade them or show them how to suckle the cow. And that's basically what we use that bottom gate for. And that system is the same on both sides. You still have your main gate there with the hitch there. You have your top half of the gate with your hitch there, and your bottom half of the gate there with your hitch down there. And then your other pen here, which the 135 is currently in, because there's a trailer here, because the workshop is full with other projects. So we have a trailer there. The International will come back out there, but even if I pulled the 135 forward, I still don't think we could get enough room in there. But it's the main gist. It's only a pen similar to that one. It's, you know, you have the cow's drinker here. It needs to be cleaned out, obviously, because it hasn't been used in a while. But that's the cow's drinker there. We also have a tap here as well, and then we have this heavy duty gate. It's just under 10 foot long. We made this gate ourselves because the gates that are in that pen there were just too weak, and this pen is probably used way more than that pen over there. But we made this ourselves. You can see it's 40mm box iron. You've the, you know, that side, you've your hitch there. Then you have the bars going across. You have that bit in the middle just to give the gate a bit of strength. Basically, it's in any other gate as well, but this one is just a heavy dutier one. And that just clips in there. The only reason we made this gate was, well, because we made it higher than any standard gate so no cow could jump over it. Because the amount of cows that try to jump over that gate there is a ridiculous amount of numbers. But we made that higher so no cow can jump over it. But we also made it ourselves and out of box iron, and we made it strong because we wanted a strong gate, because this one here is probably too weak for a pen. You can I don't know if the camera is showing it all that well, but it's sort of bent, it's curving outwards with cows leaning up against it and all that. So if a cow leant up against that, or you started to attack the gate, it's strong enough, it will hold. Now it's on to the big crush itself. So this gate here is 29 inches, but the width of the crush from the wall to the barriers there is 28 inches. No, sorry, that's incorrect. The gate is 29 inches, but the width of the crush itself from the wall to the barriers there is 27 inches. So you have this gate here, which is 29 inches. And then from the wall here to those barriers there is 27 inches, sort of wide, or the width of it. And this is our big crush. It's the biggest crush. So we have the head crush there. We have the head scoop there for when we're dosing them. We have to give them the bullets and the other stuff that goes down their throat. We have that to hold up their heads. If they needed their hooves paired or anything, we have this little winch here which you tie down. You get a sort of a rope, and that connects to that in a sort of U shape. You clip it into that, you tie it around the cow's foot, and then you slowly start winching that up until the cow's foot is up high enough without breaking it, and then you can sort of pair down the hooves. And then we have the stopper here to stop the cows from going backwards, because if you push on it, when you're in there and you're pushing on it backwards, it won't go. But we can move it out here ourselves. But when a cow pushes on it backwards in here, it won't go back. And what you do is just slide this up. It's only caught in that and that. And then they're two separate things. That slides up out of those slots. And then you pull that away. And when you're putting it back, you just pull it up against the barrier and shove that down. And with this gate, if you push that inwards, it pushes that up, which then opens the crush, as you can see. Pushing in, the tin goes up, and if you push it in again when it's opened, it closes in. While alternatively, if you push this backwards, you have that lifting up, and these push in, so when the cow, you can kind of see that they're pushed in there, so when the cow comes, gets her head caught, she pushes it forward, and her head is caught. So that's how that crush gate works. And if we wanted to move these, bring them out to the field, or if we were going selling them, we would open the gate, any gate, either there, 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 or there. We would run them through here. We'd have that set up like that, so they couldn't get out there. So all they could do was run in here. We'd have that gate open, so they'd come out of their pen, run down here, or just out there. They would run in here, out through that gate, into the second pen. They would run into here. That gate would be opened. We would run them all the way up there. The cattle trailer would be parked here, backed up. Enough for room that the door opens and is very close to this. The door will open with these gates opened. And when they're opened, the cows will run up the chute and into the cattle trailer. That is the only way we load our cattle these days, because it's obviously way safer. You've gates and barriers between you and the cow at all time, so it's the safest option we have for us rather than any other way, because obviously that's the best way of doing it. And if we're putting them back in, we either would do it that way but backwards. We'd back the trailer up, unload them, they'd run down the chute into that pen down there. They'd be in this pen, those gates would be opened, they'd run through here, obviously that gate would be like that, and they'd run in and into whatever pen they go in. Alternatively, sometimes we would just back the cattle trailer in. If we wanted to put any of them in the far pen here, we would back the cattle trailer further back, open the door and put them into whatever pen they go into. Or if they're going into these pens here, we'd back the cattle trailer here, close each door each side, so it's touching the cattle trailer itself so they cannot get out. A man would be standing here, making sure they don't go down there so that we won't have to turn them around and bring them back up again. So when they come out of the cattle trailer, they're faced with a man standing here, hunting them either in there or in there. So let's just say I was a cow. I'm being loaded onto a trailer. So take this camera as the cow's view, as if you're the cow looking from out of its eyes. So I'm the cow, I'm running out here. There's a man standing there. I've nowhere to go, I have to go down here. You have the gates there. I'm running through here. Obviously the tractor's in the way, it wouldn't usually be there. But I go through that gate. That gate would obviously be closed. This gate would be opened. So I run down the crush. Moo, moo, moo. That wouldn't be there. This would be the cattle trailer be here. Rumble, rumble, rumble. And I'm up on the cattle trailer. Alternatively, if we were unloading them this way, which sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, I'm the cow on the cattle trailer. I'm going down the ramp. I'm going through the crush. That isn't there. I'm running down through the crush. Again, that gate is closed. It's latched over there. The tractor is not here. And this gate is opened. And that gate is open, so I'm running through here. You have the gates there. Man standing there. And I run into the pen. And then alternatively, if we were unloading them from the front here, that gate would be taken off because you can't open the door without it. So this gate would be off. This door would touch the trailer this side. That door would touch the cattle trailer this side. So again, I'm the cow. You're looking through the camera. You're looking through this video. You're looking through this video as if I'm the cow or you're the cow. So we're in the cattle trailer. There's a man standing there. We come down off the ramp and we're either going in there or in there. And then if they're back here, the cattle trailer will be somewhat here. So I'm the cow. I'm coming down off the trailer. And then I'm either going in there or in there. So that is basically the layout of our shed and how we sort of operate inside it as well. So hopefully I explained well enough that you understand, and for the person that was looking for this video, that commented looking for this video, hopefully I explained everything as best as I can and clearly enough that you understand. But that is going to be the end of today's video. If you liked it, please do give me a like. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified of every future episode. If you have any questions and I'm able to answer them in the comment section, if it's going to be a short answer, I will answer them. Or if it's a question that's a long answer and it's worthwhile me making a video about, I'll make a video about it. So please do leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.